All right, first time ever trying to use a GoPro, so I'm not even sure it's gonna work. I think I'm recording. Let's try this. If it does work, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel called Wellington Bikes, I think. And today I'm going to do what I call my loop, which is a pretty standard trail. It's the Bruce Trail, runs along the 12 Mile Creek, goes up to DQ. This is in St. Catharines, Ontario. We had a rainstorm earlier, so I'm not sure how muddy the trails are going to be, but I guess we will find out. This is the beginning of it. There's a bunch of loops that you can take, which is kind of nice. There's a lot of different trails in the area of different difficulties and things like that. We're already seeing some mud here. I'm filming this on the GoPro Hero 8 Black. I've never used a GoPro before in my life, so again, I'm not even sure if I'm doing it right or have it set up correctly. It's mounted on my helmet, so I can't actually see it. But we'll see. So I'm gonna do my warm up. First little bit of trails is good for warming up. Getting the blood flowing to the legs. I'm doing this ride on the 2019 Specialized Stump Jumper FSR Comp Carbon. And I haven't really made any changes to it as of yet, so it's stock other than my DMR pedals and my ergon grips. Oh, I got a thorn in the arm. It's always a risk when you're doing these trails. I would call this, at least in this section, this is pretty good. The dirt's nice. Just not enough time to dry out enough. That the dirt is nice and tacky. A little bit mushy in some spots. I suppose if I'd waited another hour, you get a nice view of the river there. I always ride this first part slow, as it takes me a minute to get warmed up, get my legs warmed up. If you run this loop that I'm doing right now backwards, as in to say the opposite direction, there's a little bit more downhill stuff. I say that term loosely, but there's a little more downhill. This one has, going this way, has a little more climbing involved. But there's still some fun parts. So I'm gonna make this video running it this way, and if it works, I'll go ahead and record doing the same loop in reverse. Yeah, still a little soft, but we'll see. Whoa! I almost ran that thing right over. A lot of wildlife out here, especially as you get into it. A lot of deer, a lot of rabbits, typical stuff. I'm not sure if there's wind noise or anything. Like I said, first time ever trying to use a GoPro. But I figured it'd be fun to start recording these rides. Definitely feeling it in the legs now. But that's okay. There's a good hill section coming up and it really gets you going, and then after that I'm usually pretty good. Now this part's called Santa's Hat, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody went through here when it was still mucky, left a nice rut. Yeah, a little bit of mud flying up. I don't have mud guards on this bike, but I don't typically ride this close after a rain. Although last week I did this same ride, and about halfway through a major thunderstorm came through. Needless to say, I was absolutely soaked. Bike doesn't seem to mind though. It's carbon. As long as you take care of it and keep it lubed, it's good. I was having a little bit of a catch on the chain yesterday. I'm thinking I might have bent it a little bit or something. Seems to do fine in the upper half of the cassette, and then you get to the lower half and there's a couple little chunky spots. You can feel it when you crank, but I'm not too worried about it right now. I do plan on changing out the chain to the SRAM titanium one. I think it's titanium. It's got like an anodized sort of finish. And I'm probably going to change these bars out to the race face carbons. So this is that first major hill section I was talking about, which is a very good warm-up. That noise, if you can hear that noise, that's just the ice in my Camelback. Yeah, legs are definitely feeling it this morning, but it's a nice day. It's a little bit sticky, a little bit humid. This looks like it could be horse tracks or something. We do get them through here. And you see, it just keeps going. So by the time you get to the top, your legs are nice and worked in and ready for the rest of it. All right, just gonna have a Drink from the Camelback. And we are 1.14 kilometers into a 14-kilometer ride. All right, let's keep going. Should also mention this is the first bike that I've ridden in a few years, actually, that has a 29-inch rim on it. The last two bikes were both the 27.5 plus tire size, which is a 3-inch wide tire. You can call it a fatty tire if you want, but it's not like a full-fledged fatty. It's kind of in the middle, but it's a 3-inch tire. The one that I'm running right now on the front of this is a 2.6, so it's not a whole lot narrower than the other tires, but the actual rim size is where it makes the difference.